And I don't know if this will make it to air. We can talk about it for a little bit. Mike, you finally, after so long, after begging and pleading, you finally played Inside.
I did.
Do you like the game? What do you think of this thing?
I do like the game. I'm not sure I like it as much as you do, though.
Okay.
As from a game design perspective, it's great because the puzzles are a lot of fun. And I like that you just keep moving forward and all of these crazy things just keep happening. But I wish there was a little more explanation in the game.
It gets so weird.
Like, I don't want it to explain necessarily everything, but I would prefer something.
But do you think that would make it as good?
Well, see...
Isn't that what's perfect and unique about this game?
Specifically, I want to know what the fuck that big pulsing thing is that kills you.
Those shockwaves, that's my favorite part of the whole game.
It doesn't just kill you, it eviscerates
destroys you.
And it blows your guts into your face, into the camera lens. That's my favorite part of the game, and I don't need an explanation for it other than the experiments that this facility is doing are just super powerful.
Do you know what this just made me think of?
Maybe that's the nuclear, power source. I don't know.
You love this so much. You've got to... I know you haven't probably read one more page, but you got to read Annihilation.
I know. It's sitting on my nightstand.
Because, it's...
Also, this puzzle...
Oh, yeah, the chickens.
Suck chicks up into a machine and launch them at a bale?
That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Just to
the puzzles in this game to me aren't the reason that I think I come to the table. I don't know about you guys.
It kind of the fact that they're it's accessible. I kind of did dig them because
they give you something to do. They just sort of it's busy work as you move through this sort of sliding diorama.
Do you remember the first time we talked about this? Before I had even played it, I asked if it was like the Oddworld games. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Mike, have you played those?
Yeah, I played one of them, the original, I believe.
Nice. What do you think? I can now think more that this is very much like Abe's Odyssey.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
I just think that the puzzles are good enough. They're not... None of them are sort of impenetrable or...
Yeah, that's not the memorable part of the game.
No, and that's sort of not. I don't think why they made the game. That's not their goal in doing it. I think.
What do you think?
What are they trying
to do?
Okay, so the puzzles are just sort of a distraction.
Look, there's light in the distance.
I know.
Like, is he still above ground?
All of these clues are just bizarre, random foreshadowings of.
Oh man, that pig.
Of being under control, I guess, or something like that. Do you guys think that that it works as a story rather than just a puzzle game? Because that's where I think this game is just marvelous.
Well, it goes crazy, right?
I'm not sure it works as a story, but it works hella good as a world builder.
Like, the story would be really difficult to infer from a playthrough of the game, even a complete playthrough to 100%, getting seeing all the endings. You don't have any idea what the hell the story is, Well,
I think it comes down to kind of being about like control and about like
it raises questions.
Well, it's about mind control, right? Isn't this game about?
That's sort of what I got, because it seems like the kid is being pulled towards the facility. And he just doesn't have any choice in the matter. By me. But then I can choose to not send him there in one of the endings. Because I did read about like the good ending,
where you unplug yourself,
where you just unplug yourself
from the Matrix,
and that's how it ends.
But that's the character. That's you.
It's a super meta game, right? Yeah,
relinquishing control, and in doing so, stopping the game.
Yeah, I found that very dissatisfying.
It is a bit hipster and kind of trying to be overly clever, I guess. But
yeah, I get that a little. I really enjoyed the world that was built up. I was hoping for some sort of, and again, just a little more of an explanation as to what the heck was going on.
I would love to see, those books like the Incredible Cross Sections. I want to see like a fold out Incredible Cross Section wall size
of the whole game.
Yeah, inside. Like, or you remember in Nintendo Power, you used to see the playthrough, like the levels. If you could see that for inside, like what it would look like.
I mean, I guess the Playdead Studios, they have it on the wall of their
do you think
development
it's complete
office
though? Like that would just track the character's path, but I would like to see like what is above and below everywhere you go, the whole world.
So here's a question I have then for you. Do you think because they don't really explain much, so it's really on how we read it. Do you think the first half of this game is actually the kid being mind controlled? They sort of spoil it with that ending when you shut off the thing and he just falls over.
Yeah, and he turns out to be some kind of bot.
Yeah, which seems to cheapen the fact that he is changed halfway through the game.
Yeah, I thought he was just like a curious kid at first, but then
because when he's drowned and he comes back,
see that's to me one of the most interesting moments I've ever had, maybe in a video game, where you get killed in a moment where every time you've done it before, your character dies and you reload it. But in this one time, you just
it follows you.
It just keeps pulling you down and you don't die and you keep going down.
Yeah, why?
I the game completely changes polarity almost at that moment. You start to breathe in water.
Why did I die every time before?
If you leave the water, you start to suffocate in air, and you can't swim. Like the water line,
really?
Completely,
I didn't notice that.
Well, don't you remember those water puzzles where the water level shifted and was sticking to the ceiling and stuff? And
well, that one, yeah, you had to figure out the right sequence to get.
But I don't remember you dying in the air because
maybe you don't.
Because at the end of the game, you're not in water.
You're dead already. Yeah, you're invincible essentially.
What was interesting to me is that you had to use those light fixture mind control devices that are just, where you need them.
Like the hats?
To control guys before, but then after you die, you don't. Like there aren't any more of those, but you just come across dudes like those.
You're still plugged in.
50 guys or whatever you need to get into, or 18. Those 18 guys.
And you can just control them.
And they just follow you around.
Similar to little chickens, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about controlling like hive mind shit and controlling groups of people. And
it's really weird.
Propaganda maybe. I don't know. But ultimately this thing is... It comes down to that insane ending where you turn into
the blob,
a fucking blob.
You're exploring that weird like meatball thing with arms and legs sticking out of it in a vat.
So the scientists at the beginning they're attacking.
Are they watching that?
But at the beginning, all the scientists and facility workers are attacking you and trying to prevent you from getting into the facility.
You're a child, and they're like murdering you.
But then they slowly start helping you get further into the facility. Did you notice that? Like, eventually they're not your enemy anymore.
Well, once you're the meatball.
Well, it's just what was the whole goal here? Were you trying to get me? You're trying to keep me away, but then I was destined to become part of this meatball the whole time.
And do they want this monster to escape? Like, are they trying to...
Because a couple people help you.
It is a Truman Show experiment on a giant scale, right? Of mind control, of genetic engineering, of weird shockwave experiments. So it's a smorgasbord of fucked up, weird sci-fi experiments. Do you think there are
people... Like, do we encounter any people then that are not...
working for the facility?
Or not... If not working for this facility, then, like, not... under control.
I don't know, but
the kid. We remember at one point you see another adult with a kid. In like a warehouse or whatever. Like, what's that about? Why is there a child?
But at the end here, you bust off these. You're busting off these weird suction cups from this slime ball thing. You're like, oh man, we're gonna set this weird blob free
until one of the holes.
Oh wait, I just got sucked into it.
And then you have become one with it.
I'm a blob?
Now you control the meatball. and you walk around.
I feel kind of weird now.
And we feel weird controlling you because you still have to walk on two of your... How many limbs?
So many limbs.
But the part that really trips me out and makes this game go to another level is the fact that at one point you fall through the ceiling, land on a diorama of a hill with a spotlight shining on a beach. I don't know if you know this, Mike.
Yeah.
And it completely mirrors the final shot of the whole game, where you think you've escaped. You bust out of this, cave in the wall of a mountain, and you roll down this hill, and you're crashing through. It's like, is this going to be an Akira kind of moment? Am I Tetsuo? Am I going to take over a city?
Yeah, until you come to a stop at the beach and then stop.
Oh no, I'm just dead, lying on the beach like a fucking dead starfish.
Meatball.
Roll credits.
Yeah.
So for me, the reason why I love this game is for maybe the first time in like ever playing a video game, I finished it and didn't know what the developers were getting at. And in when can you say that about a video game? Like they're all so surface level. They're like, make sure we know exactly. We hammer those stupid gamers over the head with their story, or else they won't fucking understand. I mean, this time I didn't know what these developers were trying to say, and I had to think about it. And
well, still I don't.
I still don't really know.
It's so weird.
I mean,
it's really fun
for all its weird flaws, and it might be really like inaccessible. I don't know. I've never played anything like it.
Yeah, it seems to be. It seems to have a few messages or commentaries or, I guess, interpretations, because it makes you think about choice and what you're doing and why you do things. And this just being sort of a zombie in the world, just moving forward, continually moving forward to what you don't know.
But it's also like asking you, the gamer, like after you finish, it's like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Like, why do you, when you play a game, like, why do you just go from left to right?
Yeah.
Like, you were the one doing that.
What is pushing you forward?
I don't know. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And again,
interesting.
It's interesting. Like, I like that they're trying to bring up questions, but like that final ending where you can just shut the boy off and not have him complete this destiny is dependent on you playing the game the first time through. So having this knowledge that he wouldn't have.
You have to have played 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing that seems a little strange. Like, I think I know what they're trying to do. You can choose to do this. You can stop this boy from ending up in a blob and basically dying by falling down a mountain.
Only after you play our game as many times as possible.
But only after you know 100% what you're doing.
Isn't
so
that
it's
more like an Easter egg, though?
Well, is it?
I don't know.
Because
that's not what an Easter egg is.
It seems to inform what they're trying to say. Because if it is about choice and why we do things and free will, if we represent the will of this character, we can only make a choice to save him when we have full knowledge. So it almost seems like it's saying, don't just run forward without thinking about things. Find out as much as you can before you make a choice. And if that's what it's trying to say, okay.
Yeah, I think that you guys are thinking about this way more than I am. I really liked that it was like a 2-hour game. I thought it was weird and it had a bunch of questions, and I haven't thought about it since. I think it's fun to think about now, but I don't know if trying to actually pin down specific answers and looking for like black and white yes or no's in this is going to make it more satisfying or less. I think probably less.
Yeah, I like leaving it sort of like an upstream color kind of thing where it's abstract enough that you sort of bounce off of it. It refuses to be sort of defined and it wants to remain nebulous. It's
definitely an art house game, and I appreciate what they did, and there are not a lot of games like this. It looks beautiful. I enjoyed playing it. I really did enjoy playing this game. I thought the world was super cool. For me, I wanted to know a little more about the world.
I wanted to see the sun come up.
Yeah, like the intent of the game, they could leave that wide open and you could discuss all of that. But I felt unfulfilled. Like I thought this was building up to something really cool within the world, and then I became a meatball, which was crazy. Like I never saw that coming.
Yeah, I was really upset when I got sucked into that fucking thing.
I think that's the intention. You as a viewer are really, it's a leap that is really upset. Like it's not
Like,
nice.
after all that,
Yeah.
he's gone.
Yeah, you don't. It's not good when your protagonist dies at the end of your. You know,
Did he die?
He
Or
ascended. He became more.
he evolved?
But
He meatballed.
He joined. He joined a multiplayer game essentially
yeah, basically.
by going into the blob. He's playing multiplayer mode.
But I just wish I knew more about the world. And people have been saying that this seems like it could very well be a prequel to, what was it, Limbo?
Yeah,
Which I haven't played.
there's
Yeah,
weird
same.
little
Haven't
worms
played.
in that.
So maybe
it's
but
cool.
I have it. So maybe if I'd played Limbo, I would appreciate this slightly more. I think
Yeah.
it's great. It just seems for $26.
Not. It's overpriced, guy. You think?
Yikes.
Maybe.
like
yeah.
regular 26 Canadian
Yeah.
bucks. I'm not sure what it would be in the
I think it
States.
might be.
You know what? PlayStation, like PSN, should do what Google does, where like you can opt into surveys infrequently or like
Oh, and then
irregularly.
you get some
and you get
points.
credit
Yeah.
for doing surveys,
Yeah.
and then you can earn.
Sony, are you listening?
Like
Yeah.
I just bought a book on Google Play for just answering a few questions over the last couple months.
Yeah.
You know, I earned $10.
Nice. I would have paid 15, I think, is a good price point, like standard sort of movie ticket admission.
Yeah.
Because if a game's only a few hours and it's like a movie,
And you're not gonna
Exactly.
replay
That's an
it.
excellent
Yeah.
comparison. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Inside, everybody. It's
check it out. It's a really interesting,
it's
unique
amazing.
game. Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah. Buy it, play it, enjoy it,
Trip out.
and then write us and tell us what you thought. Leave your comments in the below.
In the below.
I will say this though. Normally, I never lose my appetite if I'm eating and watching crazy shit. But when there was the worm sticking out of the pig's butt and you had to pull the worm out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna put this down because that's just gross.